All right, guys, welcome back to the Building Unbreakable Humans podcast. I am Braeden, and I'm joined by two very special people in my life. My beautiful wife, McKay, and then we got little Brindley here hanging out with us because this is real life. And this is what it's like building a gym. And here we are. And this is the 5-part series that McKay and I decided to do because we are coming up on our 5-year anniversary of core fitness and performance.
Yes, sir.
So before we dive into it, as always, I'm going to start you guys off with a quote with one of my favorite entrepreneurial-minded individuals, which is Naval. This is going to speak to kind of McKay and I's beginning of core, what kind of got us here. And so here's the quote. You have 2 lives, and the second one begins when you realize you only have one.
Boom.
So,
mic drop. That's like our life, right? Like that's like our MO.
Yep.
Really.
No. Yeah. Especially from the start of things. So let's dive into that here a little bit. Where do you want to start?
Should we go back to like when we met at Dakota Games?
Yeah, we can start there, but let's also let everyone know that you thought I was cute in middle school and high school, but I was too skinny.
Yeah.
So she never showed interest in me.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna go to when Braeden was in college at
You beefed
NDCU,
up a little bit.
and Braeden found beer and food and beefed up a little bit
And weights.
And the gym and CrossFit. So
So we graduated high school, and then
she's a year older than me, so she got a little head start.
3, 4 years later, we meet at Dakota Games, the CrossFit competition in Fargo, North Dakota. And I literally remember telling Becca, like, I went to high school with him. He was always super cute, just a little too skinny for me, but like, cool, look at him lifting weights, getting bulky, like God's timing, man.
Yeah.
No, so with Becca's help and Tim Molesky's help,
who ended up officiating
her wedding, I literally told both of them, like, yo, he's cute. I want to talk to him. I'm probably going to marry him one day. The girl knows what she wants, and she's going to get what she wants. So
yes, you do. Yes.
But
that's a good summary there.
Yeah.
Like
so
we could just cut the podcast thing. McKay gets what she wants. Down.
So yeah, we connected at Dakota Games and we exchanged numbers. We actually had our first date, a few weeks?
Like a week later, because I was still sore as could be from Dakota Games. I remember that. And then
cut reps on the workout to beat me, huh?
That's still not proven.
Yes, it is.
No.
It is so proven, my guy. Yes, it is. Okay, anyway. We did a workout at my gym that I was a part of, HSC. And then we went out to Green Mill, RIP. It's not there anymore, unfortunately.
So sad.
And then he went to see his family in Illinois, came back. He's like, hey, do you want to come over? I think it was the 4th of July. And I'm like, okay, put two and two together. He's 20, 19 at this point, whatever. Like, he's got to be living at his parents' house. So I pull up to this massive home. I'm like, yeah, this is his parents' house. I walk around the back and there's his mom and dad sitting there. I'm like, okay, I'm meeting the family today, our second date. But yeah, I guess that's how like we met, and the rest is history. Like, I think you and I both knew that's like we are each other's people, you know. And she's eating the cord.
Yep. She's staying quiet though, so this is good. Yeah. I mean, we talk about God's timing quite a bit, and like I haven't shared this on this podcast much, and there's a few people that know a lot more of the story in detail. But as my headphones are coming off, if McKay would have met me in high school, it would not have worked out. If she would have met me in my first 2 years of college, it definitely would not have worked out. Nope. When she met me, I was coming up out of rock bottom, and I was on a much better trajectory. I had found CrossFit. I had found a purpose in life, truly. And I was still trying to figure out what that was.
Yeah.
And which will come up here in a little bit. But yeah, no, when she she and I met at Dakota Games, I was really starting to get into fitness. I was really starting to get into like, oh, this coaching thing is pretty sweet. Coaching CrossFit. I couldn't afford a CrossFit membership at the time. So for me, I just was like, okay, I'm going to be a CrossFit coach and it's going to pay for my membership. And back when they did that at gyms, oh, here,
Yeah.
you get to
Free
work out for
membership,
free.
please.
You don't get paid. We do careers here at Core Fitness and Performance.
Yes.
So yeah, that was kind of the point in which you had met me, and I was already starting to think about going into chiro school and doing a switch from engineering. It was very early in that train of
Because
thought,
you were
but
3 years into engineering,
at that point, that summer, yep,
so you had a year left.
yep,
And then along comes this girl, me, and your parents, like, oh, cool, he's dating someone, great. And then what, a couple months later, like, yo, I'm dropping out of engineering school. Sorry, mom and dad. So it
yep.
was probably very much who is this lady?
Oh, 100%.
But
100%.
again, God's timing, like engineering was not your calling. You were not supposed to do that. You were supposed to lead people and, help people
Yeah.
become and now help people grow their gyms and grow their business.
Yeah, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves
I
now,
know, but like how cool.
and super cool. And like I'll give kudos to McKay here. She was the first person out of the two of us to start a business or have a little bit more of a entrepreneurial spirit. So let's dive into that a little bit more. So McKay's journey with nutrition started with herself, and it was going through
Some gut health stuff.
Yeah.
And it actually didn't even like, I feel like going back, like anyone who is dealing with health stuff, nutrition stuff, it's very much it's a scary thing taking the leap into trusting someone and paying someone to help you. So I felt like I was doing everything under the sun on my own. And it actually wasn't even until I started the core method and then we had a dietitian working with us. I worked with her with my gut stuff. So I knew I had this thing called SIBO and I tried to mitigate it myself. But on top of that, like the nutrition world is so loud and it's so confusing, and that I found a passion in that. Like I wanted to help people in that aspect. It's confusing hearing like you need to fast, and then it's confusing hearing eat breakfast right away when you wake up.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to bridge that gap for people. But I was working in the dental office at that time. So I was a dental assistant for 8 or 9 years, and during that I was like, I don't think this is what I want to do full time or the rest of my life, if you will. And so I got a certain nutrition certification, and I reached out to this online company just asking if I could coach for them and whatever. So I did that for what, a year?
It was a year.
So I worked with them for about a year while I was in the dental office. And then COVID hit, and we went for a walk with some friends, or we went to a park or something to take pictures, actually.
We had just gotten Willow.
We had just gotten Willow.
puppers.
Yes, our firstborn.
Who's now
Yeah, she's great. She's 6, but
always a puppy
chocolate
upper.
lab. Yeah. So we had gone to a park just to take photos with her, and my friend and I, we were just talking, and I was actually working for the same remote nutrition coaching company at the time, and we were like, you know what? He wanted to get out of his 9 to 5. I wanted to get out of my 9 to 5, because I think COVID really put I don't even know the term, like entrepreneur, free spirit. Like I don't want to be chained to an office or have patients down there.
It gave you an epiphany.
Yeah, it was like a huge wake up call. And I think for everyone else too, like in some fashion, but I knew I did not want to go back to the office. And I'm like, how do I make this work? Because we had just bought a townhome at that point. and I was the breadwinner, if you will. Like you were in school, you were figuring it out, you were still coaching. And yeah, so I was like, okay, let's create this company. And we basically were nutrition coaches that worked with people from the ground up. So we created this word called core.
Yep.
K was for knowledge. We would provide the education. We would, educate our clients. O is ownership. Nothing is going to change in your life unless you do. You're taking ownership of your goals, your lifestyle, your actions. And then R is routine. So, how do we actually implement that in your daily life? That was the core method. And we were fortunate enough to have 2 dietitians on our staff and one other nutrition coach who then became a dietitian. And we ran with that for, I don't even know, 4 years, I think, 3. We eventually, the gym, let me know if I'm like speeding ahead.
Yeah, way ahead.
Way ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's back it up a little bit.
Back
Slow
it
it down.
up.
Slow it
Sorry,
down. Okay.
sorry.
So McKay went on that journey of starting the core, and that was our first business together.
Yep.
And then during COVID, we had opportunities to, like, for me, I was coaching at multiple gyms. I was coaching at what core used to be, which was Made to Live. And I was also coaching in a gym in Bloomington that was closer to school. We were literally just trying to make ends meet. And then me, on the other hand, too, I was dog walking before we moved in together.
Oh, yeah.
And then COVID happened, and we were dog sitting at our townhome. We were trying to do all these different things just to make ends meet. Because like when you get started in fitness, guys, and you have no idea the direction of things to do, like we were told multiple times by friends and family, like, not to do this, not to go down this road. And so for McKay and I, we literally were doing anything and everything to get to where we are now. And it was Rover. McKay started her business. I was coaching at 2 gyms. And then during COVID, when gyms started shutting down, I took the opportunity to start making freaking wood boxes.
Selling them on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, and getting my hand at that. And little did we know that those little things added up to allow us to be able to get to where we're at now. But looking at those times and our hats and so many different things, and COVID was probably one of the best things that happened for McKay and I, and I know, and I do not say that lightly. I know it was a very hard time for a lot of people, but for McKay and I, it was really good for one, you and I's relationship on what is important and what we want to focus on. Going back to that quote, we were living many different lives and trying to not put our focus into truly what we were being called to do. So McKay and I,
So 2021.
Yep, 2021.
We were approached by the gym that you were coaching at.
Yep.
And they were starting their family, and they kind of just wanted to get out of the business world and owning their own business. And they said, hey, like, would you and actually my former business partner of the core method, like, would you guys want to buy this gym and, name it the core method or whatever? And he wanted nothing to do with that. He did not want to own a gym. But Braeden was then, entertaining, like, should we buy this gym?
Yeah.
Like, you and I.
And like before this, I had gotten asked multiple times by members at both gyms that I was coaching at. They're like, would you ever own a gym? Would you ever open up one? I'm like, no, absolutely freaking not. I want to graduate chiropractic school. I want to see patients, and I want to go home. Like, and I'm like, that sounds absolutely terrible, because I think for me at this point, between coaching and being part of all these different gyms, Made to Live and Core, if you want to call them the same gym, was gym number 8 for me.
Being a part of.
And like, I had seen all these different gyms and all these different owners, and I'm like, I want nothing to do with that. They did not make it very appealing for me when I was going through this process of going from gym to gym. I'm like, yeah, I love coaching. I love helping people and getting people a little fitter and a little healthier, but I want to get people out of pain, stay out of pain as a chiropractor. And when we were approached by this, I was like, a lot of different things were lining up. And
again, God's timing.
Opening
doors.
And
we were like, should we go through?
Yeah. And so I'm going to go backwards a little bit here and tell this story. So bless my parents' heart. I put them through a lot when I went through my tough times. And the fact that they still trusted me, and especially my dad, because McKay and I, we had a little bit of money literally from all the different gigs that we were doing to put into this gym. And I remember sitting down with my parents and like proposing my dad to help fund this venture. And I still remember back to when I called him that I was dropping out of engineering school.
Yeah.
My dad works for 3M. He travels a lot. And when he was gone, he was in a meeting in Germany. He had to step out of his meeting, and I'm like,
take this phone call
from his son in North Dakota, and saying, "Hey, Dad, I need you to come pick me up. I'm dropping out of engineering school and going to chiropractic school in Bloomington."
Yep.
Guys, I kid you not. I think the phone was silent for 30 seconds.
Like, hello.
Or it felt like an hour. I'm like, this is the most quiet I've ever heard him. He's going to be so mad. This is going to be the worst thing ever. And it was probably like 5 seconds. And he goes, "I'm in Germany. I'll pick you up in a week." And just hung up. And I'm like, this is going to be the worst car ride home ever. So fast forward to when we got approached and when I went to my dad to say, "Hey, will you help me buy into this gym?" They had zero reason to do that.
To entertain it, especially because we were buying a gym that was in the red.
Yes.
Like truly. And
this is one of those things that like ignorance is bliss. Because knowing what I know now, I would, like, everything pointed to that we wouldn't do it or shouldn't do it. Brief intermission there. We handed off Brinley our 3 p.m. classes.
Talk about a community.
Yep. Here
Thanks,
we go.
Mark, for taking her.
Yep. So all arrows were really pointing to like we should absolutely not. And I ignored every single fucking one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I can do this. I can turn this business around. I know exactly how to grow it. And like on paper, I'm like, okay, we have a good start. We have a good like core group. Like, sorry, CORE. Yeah. So we had a really good core group, and I'm like, I can build from this. I can turn this around. So the deal ends up going through. We rebrand to what McKay and what I would call like our core values are, which is around core fitness and performance, the knowledge, ownership, and the routine. Like, it is who we are, and we bleed it. And
the core method was still a thing.
Yes.
At this point, but I knew it would not be a thing just because of, the leadership, and some people are just not meant to own a business, and that's not a shot. It is what it is. Like, I am not meant to own and run and operate. You are meant to own, run, and operate. I am tell me what to do.
It's funny that we say that now when I wanted absolutely nothing to do with owning a gym.
So I knew we had our little golden egg with core and what it was. And that was our life. That was what we lived by. And I knew the core method would not be a thing in 5 years. And I did not want that name and that brand to just dissipate with it.
Yeah.
So we made the decision, you and I, to name our gym Core Fitness and Performance.
Yeah. And
it was a little rocky at the start, but
And we'll get into that a little bit later, but
yeah.
I think we'll do that in part 2 of kind of talk about what it was like taking over, but
Yeah.
also the biggest reason that we took it over, because again, I was in the middle of chiro school. I had no business starting something new or taking over anything like that. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into truly. Like, again, going back to ignorance is bliss. There was absolutely no reason we should have been doing this, but we had a calling and we were chasing our calling.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that I was thinking about was like, I don't trust this community in anyone else's hands. And I wanted this community to blossom because there was truly something there. There was truly something special with the people that were in those 4 walls.
The 28 people that
28
when we
people
bought
that
the
were
gym.
in those.
Yeah, there's 28 people.
Yep.
I wasn't even a part of the gym. Let's be honest. Like, I had my home, and that was HSC. That was where I started CrossFit. That's where I started coaching. That was my family. And Braeden was a part of Made to Live. And we kind of just had our own separate gyms for a little bit. And then when we were approached, like, hey, we're selling the gym, I was like, oh, like, we could potentially own this place. Like, I need to transition and I need to show myself. I need to show face. Like, I need to be a part of this community if we're going to take it over.
Yeah.
Because CrossFit is built on relationships.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. It's like looking back on those years of leading up to the gym and thinking about where our lives are at now. Like, our entire life is revolved around the gym and has been for the past 5 years. And to think that all the things that we were doing just to get to that one point, which has spiraled into this most wonderful, stressful thing of all time. For you and I, it's truly fun to look back and think about that. And I think, like, the one thing that I always come back to is like, whatever that gut feeling is, whatever that calling, that burning sensation that you have.
And also, even if it doesn't make sense, like, again, like, God put that on your mind or put that in front of you or open that door for you to be uncomfortable to walk in. And sometimes you need to take 3 steps back to take 4 steps forward. Right? And that's like, I'm gonna get emotional. Jeez Louise. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And to dive into that a little bit more, like, I have and always have had a very addictive personality. And like, I knew whatever I put my mind to, that we can get it figured out.
Yep.
And I literally went down the rabbit hole of, like, it was drugs and alcohol, and then it was this thing called CrossFit and trying to compete with it. And then COVID happened, and it was our relationship, and now it's the business. And I knew that there was, I don't know how many steps backwards during those time frames, but the amount of steps that we took forward out of it and to where you and I are at now, it's, guys, I'm going to tell you this. If you've never started a business before, running a business is hard. If you've never been married before, being married is hard. If you've never raised a family before, raising a family is hard. If you have never run a business with your spouse while raising a young family, it is extremely hard. And I do not say that lightly, and this is not telling me to deter anyone from it. I'm just letting you know, if you want to be good at things, it will be hard.
Yeah.
Nothing is easy. And I wonder if everyone just heard Brinley downstairs, but
also to going back to your quote, like, the one life, if it's easy and you're not uncomfortable and you're not, taking those risks and chances, and if you're just like, no, that scares me, Like, you're just going to stay where you're at then. Like, you're not growing and you're not doing the hard.
Yeah. And
that's fine.
no, it is.
But also you can't complain about where you're at then.
Oh, 100%. It's hard to stay the same and it's hard to grow.
Correct.
And just choose your hard.
Choose your hard.
And McKay and I talk about this quite a bit in terms of God's timing and all those different things. And here's a little backstory of my tattoo, which will sum all this up very, very, very well. There is a book by Mark Batterson, Chase a Lion, or Chasing a Lion on a Snowy Day, I think is the official title.
Chasing it, yeah.
And it's one of the passages in there is the story of Benaniah, who was one of King David's mighty men. And to prove himself to King David, he chased a lion on a snowy day and killed the lion. And the big piece of this is if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And that is one of the biggest things that took me out of the hole that I was in, out of my train wreck that I was on. And this is why I said, like, if McKay met me before I read that book, it was not going to be good timing. And to where we're at now, right? Every decision that we've made, every hard thing that we've done has led us up to this decision of buying the gym and getting to this point. And like, McKay just quit dental to go all in on her business, the Core Method. And she was finally like, oh, I'm going to be able to finally focus on this one thing. And then I'm like, hey, joke's on you. We're buying a gym and I need your help.
I remember that conversation. I was like, I finally get this. Like, I get my time. That is not my time anymore. Like, we're going into this different venture. But it was not about me. It truly wasn't. Like,
no.
Yeah. So
to kind of give a bow on this, guys. Again, McKay and I are going to make a nice little 5-part series on this. Each episode is probably going to be shooting around 30 minutes. And so we wanted to give you guys a really raw kind of look at what led up. And this, again, McKay and I didn't sit down and plan this beforehand. We really wanted to do this off the cuff and see where the conversation went. And I'm going to tell you guys this. This has been one of the hardest things that McKay and I have ever done, but also the most rewarding. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. And I'm very thankful for every little thing. And I got recently asked on a podcast, do I regret anything that my life has brought to this point? And I absolutely not. I do not regret what I went through in college. I do not regret anything, because if I regret those things, then I regret the path that I'm on right now. And I have zero regrets with any of it.
Yep.
And again,
we wouldn't be sitting here today, and we wouldn't have 230 some members that we get to help and lead and guide and make better humans, and help people be healthier versions of themselves and stronger versions for them, for their family, for their friends, for their kids. Like just the struggle leading up to this is like those people, our members, our family here. Like, that is our why. That is why we do everything every day.
Yeah. And I know we've talked about this a little bit about me not wanting to own a gym. And to your point, what changed that was exactly that.
Yeah.
Our people, our community.
And like, I know we'll get into this, but like, now you get to help gym owners build their gym and build their community and lead. And what is Two Brain? What's their slogan? Make it home for dinner.
Make a profit, make an impact, make it home for dinner.
Beautiful. Like, you get to help other people do that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the norm of gym ownership is like, oh, you own a gym? I literally, I'll make this quick. When we had first bought the gym, I was doing an on-ramp for someone, and he goes, oh, you own the gym? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, you probably don't make like any money. Like, the audacity to say that, number one. And number two, like, yeah, we didn't make any money. for the first 2 years of
For 2
ownership.
years. 2 years. So we'll dive into that on the next podcast. We'll dive into that in a little bit later. But yeah, we didn't make any money for 2 years. We started at 28 members, and that's what we're going to pick up on the next podcast. So follow along. I know I'm going to cut off McKay here because otherwise this is going to be a 4-hour long episode in one shot here. So follow along, guys. Hit the subscribe button on whatever listening platform you're on, and look out for part 2. I'm going to try to do a podcast a week, but as I just said, this shit's hard with 2 kids and trying to make my wife happy and run a business. So here we are. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.